Hello students, I Meenakshi Kaushik is explaining the SST chapters classes 6 to 12 on YouTube channel. My channel name is the Digital Education where I am giving the valuable and depth knowledge and information to the classes 6 to 12, and I am sure when you will watch my YouTube channel where you will get the valuable information, depth knowledge, other informative points which are completely related to your school exam pattern, and that will help you for gaining the good marks and providing you the best to best knowledge in my channel. Thank you, student. Hello students, today I will explain the topic on Mughal dynasties. The last ruler of Mughal dynasty, 6th great Mughal, that was Aurangzeb. In my previous SST online class, I explained to you about the 5 great Mughals. Who were they? They were Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, Nasiruddin Humayun, and then Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, Jahangir, Shahjahan, and the last one today I am going to explain you about the Aurangzeb, the last Mughal ruler of Mughal dynasty. The time period of Aurangzeb, students also have to note down please. 1600, yes, the time period of Aurangzeb 1659 to 1707, means to say that 1659 to 1707. So now already I have shown the picture and the image of Aurangzeb. I think all of you are quite familiar with all the great Mughals rulers, pictures and the images which already given in your SST books. But today I am going to explain to you about the Aurangzeb in details. So now student, first of all you have to see and note down my each explanation and my all the important points simultaneously. Now you can see here now Aurangzeb. Also you can spell it Aurangzeb. In Arabic language, Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb. Now the name is pronounced in Arabic language Aurangzeb. Kingly title of Aurangzeb, that was the Alamgir first. In my previous SST online class, I already explained to you about the other name of the Aurangzeb was the Alamgir first. The original name of Aurangzeb, Muhi al-Din Muhammad. Muhil al-Din Muhammad. The names are little bit the typical names because these names are in the Arabic language and then means the Persian language. But you have to read out the 2-3 times, then you will be quietly familiar with the names and correctly you will pronounce it. Next, when we talk about the birth of Aurangzeb, November 3, 1680. He was born in Dahod, Dhod, Dahod, which is in Malwa. Malwa, it is in India. When we talk about when he was died, the death of Aurangzeb, March 3rd, 1707, at the age of 88 years. He was at the age of 88 years. So now this was a very longer, the wider time period of Aurangzeb. When we talk about, according to historians, when we talk about Aurangzeb, half of the beginning part he spent in the northern part of India, and the later on the half of the 24 and the 25 years of his life he spent in the southern part of India. So this was a very longer time period of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. This also you have to note down. Next is the dynasty, or we know that he belonged to the Mughlab dynasty, and previously the Mughal dynasty, again I am repeating, there was a slave dynasty. The time period of slave dynasty was 1206 to 1526, and the Mughal dynasty time period was 1526 to 1707, means the death of Aurangzeb, 1707. Next, when we talk about the family members who were in the families, means Aurangzeb family, Shahjahan was the father of Aurangzeb and the mother was Arjuman Banu Begum, means Mumtaz Mahal. Mumtaz Mahal or Arjuman Banu Begum, meaning is same. When we talk about the sons of Aurangzeb, there were the 3 sons of Aurangzeb. Muazzam, Bahadur Shah first. It was another name of Muazzam. You can call Muazzam, you can call Bahadur Shah first. Suppose a question comes in an exam, the other name of Muazzam was, suppose in MCQ question A, B, C part, then you have to tick on Bahadur Shah first was another name of Muazzam. The second son of Aurangzeb was Azam Shah. Azam Shah. Muazzam is different है, Azam Shah is different है. And the third son of Aurangzeb was Kam Baksh. Note down please friends in your SST notepad. There was another, yes, one main important battle as students, Battle of Samugarh. Note down, Battle of Samugarh, it was occurred on May 29, 1658. It was a decisive battle in the struggle for the throne during the Mughal War of Succession. Mughal War of Succession, it was 1658 to 59. So this Battle of Samugarh basically a battle of, it was a battle, it was the struggle for the throne among the Mughal rulers. Now, between the sons of Shahjahan. So this battle between the sons of Shahjahan, if anybody asks you who were the sons of Shahjahan, the sons of Shahjahan was Dara Shikoh, and Aurangzeb, and next Murad Bakhsh and Shah Shuja. Again I am repeating, please note down in SST notebook. Dara Shikoh, second Aurangzeb, Murad Bakhsh and Shah Shuja. So this was basically the Samugarh battle. It was a battle among the four sons of Shahjahan, Dara Shikoh, Murad Bakhsh, Shah Shuja and Aurangzeb. Or ultimately at the last, now there was a winner. Who was the winner? The Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb defeated in the battle of Samugarh three brothers. Three brothers were defeated by the Aurangzeb. Ultimately, now they decided that yes, Aurangzeb will be the next ruler and next ruler of Mughal dynasty. So he became the next ruler of Mughal dynasty. You can see that time period here. June 5th in 1659, he became the ruler of Mughal dynasty. Please friends, you can note down in SST notepad. Again, I am repeating, and simultaneously you can take the screenshot. These all are the very valuable and important and informative points to you and you can please just grasp just to cover the topic. All these my important and valuable information you can grasp for your covering your syllabus and covering your this topic. Next, up now when we talk, up now I'm giving the details about the policies and the behavior and the contribution of Aurangzeb in Mughal dynasty. I'm going to explain. Please listen to me very carefully, please. Now students see, here Aurangzeb was the opposite of his father Shahjahan. So Aurangzeb was the opposite of his father Shahjahan according to his theories. Why this is the statement it was given by the historian that Aurangzeb was completely opposite of his father Shahjahan. And not only he was opposite of his father Shahjahan, he was completely opposite the grandfathers means Shahjahan. He was against Shahjahan. He was opposite to Zahir. He was completely opposite to Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So his whatever the policies were implemented by Aurangzeb, that was means not the mixture, the positive mixture of the policies of his father Shahjahan. That was not the positive mixture, a blend of their grandfather Jahangir and Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, ya Babar and Humayun. It was altogether different. The behavior, the approach and the attitude and the policies and the thinking, the ideological concepts and the behavior towards the Hindu religion and the Muslim religion, it was completely altogether different. His behavior was completely altogether different. He was opposite of his father Shahjahan. So this was the statement which was given by the historian about Aurangzeb. अब now see, now where his father, अब now I am just explaining to you why this statement was given by the historian. He was the opposite of his father Shahjahan, yeah, before other rulers, because there were some reason. Because of this, where his father was a lover of the arts and literature, where his father means the Shahjahan. One side the Shahjahan was completely a lover of means arts, lover of literature, art and architecture, and was fond of paintings also. He was altogether different. He was altogether different. He was altogether different. And now next we means one two lines I also would like to complete the policy. He was totally against the policy of the means Shahjahan. Whatever the Shahjahan followed the policy, Jalaluddin Muhammad followed the policy, the Rajput and religious policy that was not followed by Aurangzeb at all. At all. Aurangzeb not means mingled with the Rajput rulers. Not means done any alliance with the Rajput rulers like Shahjahan, like Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and like Jahangir. And the religious policy, whatever the religious policies were followed by Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, Jahangir and Shahjahan, that was also not followed by Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was completely devoted only just to the expansion of Mughal dynasty. His whole life was devoted to the expansion of Mughal dynasty. He focused on the territorial expansion of Mughal dynasty. He never bothered about the religious policy. He never bothered about the Rajput policies, which were followed by Akbar, which were followed by Jahangir, which were followed by his father Shah Jahan. And one more point. When we talk about the religious policy of Aurangzeb, so he was completely devoted and he was completely means always be with the Islamic religion, devoted to the Islamic religion, and he was against to the means the Hindu peoples. If we are seeing the other side, if we are seeing the Shahjahan behavior, Jahangir behavior, and the Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar's attitude and behavior and their policies, they were quietly liberal. They were all devoted, equally devoted to Hindu religion, equally devoted to the Muslim religion. But here the Aurangzeb was altogether different. He never followed the policy, the Rajput and religious policy. He was not devoted to any other religion. He was only devoted and just motivated to only the Islamic law and Islamic religion. And some other means the temples were also demolished by him. So means to say that he was just like a fanatic ruler because he was a Sunni. He was a fanatic ruler. He was not a liberal ruler like the previous rulers. So this is all about the Aurangzeb. In short, I explained to you, student, but if you want to go in the depth, the administration of Aurangzeb, the contribution of Aurangzeb in art and literature, that is not too much. So that means the explanation and descriptive form I can explain only when you are joining my SST online classes, regular SST online classes. Through the videos, I can just trying to give you the the maximum details. But complete details and full knowledge, depth knowledge, it is not possible to provide to my SST students through the videos, through the channel. I'm trying to give my best. But if you are attending my classes, the SST online classes, regular classes, that is much different. You will gain something from me. After checking my classes, so you will realize, yes, now we got something, we got some knowledge from Meenakshi ma'am. Clear, students? So now I'm coming my next topic. Yes, the contribution of Aurangzeb in the field of art and architecture, architectural style. Already I have conveyed you there is no much contribution in the field of art and architecture of Aurangzeb because he was just focused only territorial expansion of Mughal dynasties. He was a very simple ruler. According to him, to build the historical monuments and to spend a lot of money on historical monuments, it is completely a wastage of money. This was the behavior of Aurangzeb, approach of Aurangzeb, thinking of Aurangzeb, ideology of Aurangzeb. That's why the historians given him the title given to Aurangzeb by the historians, Zinda Peer. Zinda Peer. He was just like a saint, life saint, because he never spent money on luxurious life, on materialistic things. He never enjoyed the materialistic life and the luxurious life. He spent a very simple life, but he focused on the expansion of Mughal dynasty. That's why he ruled the Mughal dynasty, the maximum, the bigger and the larger time period of him. The first 24 and 25 years, He spent in northern part of India, and the last 24 to 25 years, 24 years he spent in the Deccan states of India. Deccan policy, very nicely and very forcefully and powerfully he implemented. So now this is all about the, in short, I explained to you about the Aurangzeb, the Rajput and religious policy. He never followed this type of policies because he was just, according to him, कि Rajput policy, he was totally against to the Rajput rulers. Religious policies में he was a very fanatic ruler, motivated and just always favored to the Islamic law and the culture, right? And then now when we talk about art and architecture, so he never spent a lot of money. He has to build up the historical monuments and buildings like Shahjahan, like Jahangir, like Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So now students, see the contribution of Aurangzeb, a very lesser contribution in the field of art and architecture of Aurangzeb in Mughal dynasty. Please see. This is a picture of Moti Masjid. This is a picture of Moti Masjid, student. The Moti Masjid is a 17th century mosque inside the Red Fort complex in Delhi. If you will go in Red Fort complex in Delhi, so please see inside there is a Moti Masjid. Moti Masjid, the complex is there, and that was built in the 17th century by Aurangzeb. By Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, it is written here. Clear? And now damaged during the siege of Delhi and subsequently restored by the British. But Britishers restored it. And now named for its white marble, the mosque features ornate floral carvings are there. So now here the Moti Masjid, it was completely built with the white marbles. You can see only the white marbles is used in the Moti Masjid. Now I am showing the next picture, the next historical monument which was constructed and built by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. This is a picture of Bibi Ka Maqbara. Are you seeing, students? This is the Bibi Ka Maqbara, this historical monument. It is completely looking like a Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, which was constructed, which was built by Shahjahan in the memory of his wife Arjuman Banu Begum. So now there is a completely the maximum, you can see the similarities between these two historical monuments. There are the similarities between Taj Mahal and between the Bibi Ka Maqbara. The Bibi Ka Maqbara, the English in language, so you can see the tomb of the lady. Tomb of the lady. So it was a Maqbara, it is a tomb located in the city of Aurangabad. And the Aurangabad, it is a place which is situated in the Maharashtra. Please note down. Aurangabad is a place which is situated in Maharashtra. If you will go in Aurangabad in Maharashtra, so please students have to see there Bibi Ka Maqbara. And that time, if anybody asks you, please, you will be in the position to explain about the Bibi Ka Maqbara. If anybody asks you, you are seeing this monument, what your assistant teacher taught to you, then you explain to them. Yes, our online teacher Meenakshi ma'am explained to us the Bibi Ka Maqbara that was built and constructed by Aurangzeb, the tomb of the lady, and that tomb, it is in Aurangabad. Aurangabad, it is in Maharashtra. And you can see also this is the similarities between the Taj Mahal and the Bibi Ka Maqbara. And this Maqbara, this tomb, it is completely built of the white marble, Sange Marble. You can see here the four, yes, this is the four, yes, these are the tombs and these are the four pillars, yes, minarets. Next step, it was commissioned in 1660 by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Now, son Prince Azam Shah, in the memory of his loving mother Dilras Banu Begum. So now, during the time period of Aurangzeb, this Bibi Ka Maqbara, yes, in the memory of his loving mother Dilras Banu Begum. Dilras Banu Begum, this was a name of the Ruqayya. Rabaiya Ud-Durrani. This is the name of the Dilras Banu Begum, the mother of Azam Shah. Clear? So now students, Rabaiya Ud-Durrani hai ya Dilras Banu Begum hai, meaning will be same. So this Maqbara ya this tomb, Bibi Ka Maqbara, it is in the memory of Dilras Banu Begum. Dilras Banu Begum was a mother of Azam Shah. And the other name we can call Rabaiya Ud-Durrani. Rabaiya Ud-Durrani. Next image I am showing the picture I am showing to you. Yes, this is students the next historical monument which was constructed in the time period of Aurangzeb, Badshahi Mosque. Badshahi Mosque, it was built between 1671 and 1673 by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Please note down this was the time period 1671 to 1673, and Badshahi Mosque was constructed by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. The mosque, this is the mosque, it is an important example of Mughal art and architecture. This is the greatest example of the time period of Aurangzeb. I'm talking about the time period of Aurangzeb. Here when you see there is a blend of the two type of stones. The red stone you can see here, red stone, and the white stone means the white marble. This is a blend of the two types of stone, red stone and the white stone. The mosque is an important example of Mughal art and architectural style, with an exterior that is decorated with the carved red stones and with the marble inlay. And these tombs, these gumbas, these all built with the help of the white marbles. Now it remains the largest mosque of the Mughal era and is the third largest. So now Mughal era mein this is the largest mosque and is the third one the largest mosque in the Mughal era. So students, it is all about the three historical monuments which I discussed with you, which I explained to you students, all the SST students. One is the Bibi Ka Maqbara, means Bibi Ka Maqbara, and the second is the Badshahi Mosque, and the third one, yes, Moti Masjid. So these three historical monuments which were constructed by the Aurangzeb, and in the time period of Aurangzeb, Bibi Ka Maqbara. So students, I hope so. Whatever I explained to you about Aurangzeb, all of you understood. If any question hai, any doubt hai, any query hai, to students, now my WhatsApp number I have given in my description box. You can contact to me to clear your doubt. If you want to join my SST class, want to take the regular SST class, so please you can call to me, because I am giving my SST regular online classes to my all the SST students, classes 6 to 12. Thank you students for attending to my this class, online class. In my next class, I will explain the next topic with nice explanation. Thank you students. Thank you so much.